Okay, I'm Eric Smith, and I'm going to be presenting for SpinalCorrections, the Freedom System. See if I can do this right. Here we go. Spinal correction was created to scientifically and commercially advance the Freedom System. The Freedom System is an emerging technology. It's designed to treat a progressive pediatric scoliosis. It's an implant system that allows motion and employs what is called a guided growth system to correct the curvatures in children. The system is patented, and we're here today because we are in the development stage of this project, and we are seeking the funding to continue that development, or to initiate that development. Pediatric scoliosis is a lateral deformity of the spine. The standard of care for patients with this is, in the moderate to severe category, is external bracing. When the curve on a patient reaches roughly just about 25 degrees, a brace is very typically recommended for these patients. Bracing, however, can be very uncomfortable for these children. It can be both psychologically uncomfortable and physically uncomfortable. And you can see on the left image, the x-ray, this particular patient has a curve of 22 degrees when they're 11 years old. 1 year later, at 12 years old, that curve has progressed almost to double its size. This is a progressive scoliosis, the kind that we would be treating. So a patient in this range would be treated initially with an external brace, such as the one that you see on the image. And doesn't she look comfortable, huh? If the curve continues to progress, and a lot of times these external braces simply are not able to effectively stop the progression of a scoliotic curve. So if it goes beyond 45 degrees, the standard of care becomes fusing the spine. Instrumented fusion fuses the spine at the levels where they're instrumented, and at those levels it does not allow any further growth or any further motion. And you can see there on the x-ray 13 years, this particular patient, 1 year later, their curve has again almost doubled in size. They're now at 85 degrees of curve. So the decision was made they're going to have to fuse this patient because the brace did not work. So you see at 14 and a half years, this is an x-ray showing the fusion, and this is a typical long fusion where the patient's curve has now been corrected to a large degree, and that area where all that instrumentation is can no longer grow, and the patient can no longer move. However, the curve is now corrected. They're not going to have any further problems regarding the curve. The problem, however, is that fusions can result in complications that are above and below that instrumented level that may require surgery later in life. It's because of those complications that surgeons want to avoid fusing the spine. So the Freedom System corrects these spinal deformities without fusion. It allows motion, it leaves the intervertebral disc completely untouched, it facilitates normal spinal growth, and it allows, very importantly, earlier treatment for these patients. And the importance of the earlier treatment is that the earlier you can get to these patients when they clearly have a progressive problem is good, because the spine is able to be manipulated a little easier. It's more flexible. If you wait too long, the spine becomes very inflexible, and then fixing it becomes much more difficult. So this is the Freedom System. As soon as the video starts. Do I need to push the button? Looks like it. Here we go. So you can see the curve. These are the screws going in. Then it'll come in the operative system, which is a narrow band. There it goes. That band is fixed into place. It's locked down in the manner that it's supposed to be. Once it's done, the patient can then flex, they can extend, the patient can rotate their body at will, unimpeded by the hardware, and they can still correct the curve. So this is very, very unusual in this business. The other thing that happens here, these patients can continue to grow in a normal manner. So that's the technology, that's what we have. In order to do anything with that technology, as interesting as it is, you need a team. So here's our team. Our scientific and medical advisors, we have 4 of them. These are the top guys in the scoliosis or the deformity market. Each one of these people, 3 of the 4 people have been past presidents of the Scoliosis Research Society. These are eminent individuals. The fourth one, Dr. Alan Carl, wrote the book on spinal deformity. Between these four gentlemen, we have well over 150 years of experience in the spinal deformity correction business. The management team consists of myself. I have 40 years of experience in the medical marketplace, 20 years of experience in the spinal marketplace, and Joe Reynolds, who has similar experience and was also CEO of a spinal company. Between Joe and I, we have 40 years of experience just in spine alone. So we've got a team that we put together to get this thing going. Now, what's the market? So the market for spinal deformities, there's the numbers, you'll see it there, and then you'll see what we believe is potentially what we can do with this particular product. We've used 15% market penetration, and the reason we chose 15% is that's what our surgeon advisors have told us, that if they got this thing in their hands, they would be able to use it in at least 15% of their patient load. So now you've got all the technology, you've got the team, you've got all that. What are we going to do? So here's our development plan. I'm not going to go through all of this stuff because it's a lot. But you'll see down at the lower one, you'll see clinical research study. That's an important milestone. That happens to begin in year 3. This is first in man. Then the last one there, you'll see the CE mark. That's an important milestone because that particular milestone indicates when we believe we begin to make sales. So there we go. That's the technology, that's the team, that's the market, and that's the plan. I hope you enjoyed it. Questions?
Thank you, Eric.